Good evening. I'm Mrs. Early, and I am your Introduction to Design Processes teacher for your student. Um, there's not a whole bunch to say, so I just thought I'd show you around our Canvas page and share some really good information about what your students will be seeing and doing for the school year. So, one of the first things I want to point out on the screen is that when you scroll down on the home page, there is a resources folder. And when you select it, it takes us to a resources module that has all sorts of helpful information for your students. For students who are struggling with reading a ruler, I have found some academic ruler reading games, and there's hyperlinks to acceptable websites where they can practice. And I always found that students who are playing have a lot more fun and they retain the information a lot better. Um, the Big Inch is a video tutorial breaking down the US standard inch into pieces that are bigger for them to see. This is especially helpful because a lot of students don't have a regular basis that they use a ruler. So I get all sorts of weird measurements like thirds of an inch, and I'm like, that's not a thing. And the most important one of these I want to share is that I will have video tutorials for the months, and I kind of combined August and September together. But when you select that, there are embedded YouTube videos explaining some of the concepts that students have the most difficulty with. And these are videos that I have made. It's mostly my hands and unfortunately my voice. But it really is a good way for students who are struggling or who have been homesick and, or they're quarantined, and this is how they can get the same content that the people who are in the classroom with me can get the content as well. So those are some of the key things that I really wanted to point out to you. Also, when I go back to the modules, every single day that we have class, I will post a brand new module, and I will put it at the very top of the modules list. It will have that date, it will have an agenda, and it will have links to the activities that we're doing. That way, if the student is at home but they forgot their folder, they can print out a PDF copy so they don't fall behind. I also sometimes am able to throw in some videos onto those. But the agenda will always tell us what we're doing that day and what needs to be turned in. It warns us about any upcoming quizzes or tests or big project due dates. So I will always have that on hand. For this class, it's really important that parents take the time maybe once every other week and check in on the school's grade book. Not, I don't use the Canvas grade book much. The official grade book is through PowerSchool, and that's where you get your students' official grades. And I strongly encourage parents to check their students' grades once every other week. Okay, don't be like constant daily checking in. You got to give your kids some credit, but just checking in once in a while. And if you see they're starting to get behind, ask your student, hey, how can I get you to an open lab in the mornings? Or can you get an SSRT pass to get some more extra help? Um, but I feel like following up through the parents is a really good way to help the students be accountable. Most of the students do a really good job of that on their own, but they're high school students, so sometimes things fall to the wayside. Um, Another thing is that when I grade things for this class, I can grade any item up to 3 times. So with mechanical drafting, which is the entire first semester, this is all hand drawing, like we used to do back in the 80s and earlier. Okay, I used to do it in high school. But it's all board drafting, it's not computer. And I don't expect students to be perfect on the first try, but I also want to encourage them to learn from their mistakes. So that's why I grade things 3 times. The first time I grade something, I use the color red. It's usually like a, whoa, there's an issue here. You might want to check that out. and students can correct it and resubmit. The second time I grade it, it's in green. If there's still mistakes, they should come and try to get some one-on-one help with me. Um, and then my final word is in purple. So there's no reason why students shouldn't be getting an A or B in this class, because they can revise almost anything and resubmit it for more points. Um, Finally, I just want to let you know that I'm always happy to take emails and answer questions. The best way to reach me is through my school email, learly@ccs.k12.in.us, and you can find me on the school website as well. I don't usually answer the phone during the school day because I only get 90 minutes with your students every other day, and that's really not enough. So I don't take phone calls during the day because I want to spend it with the kids. But I am pretty good at answering emails. I check my email while I'm in the school, and that I get here about 7:30 in the mornings, and I leave somewhere around 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's a good long while that I'm in the building to answer emails. And I always encourage your students to email me with questions as well. So that's a little bit about me and our class. Second semester, we're going to be working on modeling and prototyping and building things and doing some design problems. So it's a really hands-on class. There's no textbook. It's just us learning some basics of design and the design process. Please feel free to email me. Thank you.